Hi guys, back again for a new game in the competition, and for the past 2 weeks we've been playing a bit of a gem. Mamemeister is an isometric view racing game released by Konami in 1994. It doesn't record scores, so we were playing for the best combined times on the first 2 stages. I feel like this worked pretty well, and gradually people were learning the courses and the times were tumbling. Neo Drift now gets lots of praise in this genre of game, but this is a bit of a hidden gem for sure. Plays really nicely, and has a good mix of things going on with the other vehicles, different sorts of turns with the occasional shortcut, and road hazards such as jumps, cones, and things to crash into. Playing for time brings in a different style of play, really trying to optimise your run, which I think is good to have on occasion. We previously did something similar with the qualifying track on pole position, which also worked well. Unfortunately, this game never came home. I think it could have been good on the PlayStation or the Saturn, with a few quality of life improvements for the home market. Overall, a good game to have, so let's take a look at the scores. As I said, things got pretty competitive, and we've had 16 scores, including a few apologies too. We had a few token efforts at the bottom, but things began to get serious from Gary in 13th onwards. Bob is the first into the 106 seconds in 9th, Blue Yak is into the 105 seconds in 7th, I'm the first into the 104 seconds in 5th, along with My Retro Tech in 4th, and Graham taking 3rd. Our top 2 were very much the class of the field though, trading top spot over the 2 weeks, and continued to push the best times. Ultimately it's Big Juffer taking 2nd, and he had the best time on stage 1, with a 53.41. But Paul is taking possibly his first ever win? Can't remember if he's won before, but he did superbly on this one, and his stage 2 time was brutal. With a 49.94, he was over half a second ahead of everyone, and very much deserved this overall win. Here is the distribution of the scores, and as it is lower times that are the better, our top places are on the left, rather than the usual right. We can see our stragglers on the right, and then things being pretty close on the left. As I mentioned, Paul was very much the one to beat, and you can see him in his own bin on the left, with Juff, Graham, and My Retro Tech all in the same bin next to him. Now the difficulty curve. And unsurprisingly, given we were just optimising times, the curve is pretty linear, at least beyond the last 3. Those early gains are pretty easy to come by, but it becomes increasingly difficult to improve, but not unreasonably so it seems. I think we were getting close to what is possible with this one, although Paul reported that even on stage 2, there was probably at least another 10th or 2 in it, so maybe 102 second overall time might be possible. Finally, the progress over the 2 weeks, and this is a pretty good one. There are lots of steps on the lines showing the multiple improvements that many people were making. Early on, I took the lead, but soon enough it was Paul and Juff trading times and really pushing things forwards. The lead traded place at least 5 times, but it was Paul who really nailed stage 2, putting him out of reach. Now the current leaderboard before we find out what the next game will be. With a few folks now taking part, is my pal Rob and Mike making some progress in the lower order. Bob is up 3 into 11th, My Retro Tech is up 2 into 7th, but with that win, it's Paul who's the big mover, up 6 places into 4th. Juff did finish 2nd, so although his win streak has come to an end, he still extends his lead to Graham, to 132 points. It's going to be a tough one for Graham, and possibly Blue Yak, so let's see what the next game will be, and if they can close the gap. Our next genre is single screen platformer, and we've got 12 games to choose from. Bubble Bobble is the most popular choice, with 3 votes, and then Pandora's Palace, Zoo Papa, and Bomb Jack all have 2 votes each. Paul's choice is Mr. Do's Castle, so that gets 3 slots on the wheel after his win. So let's set things going and see what we get. Okay, slowing down, it's not going to be Mr. Do's Castle. Okay, looks like it's going to be Pandora's Palace. So I actually don't know anything about this game, and didn't Bob win the last game? So yeah, another one after Ian, it's Bob getting the luck now. So yeah, I'm going to go look it up, make a video, and be back in a sec. So our next game is Pandora's Palace, released by Konami in 1984, and for some reason only came out in the US. It's a game a bit like Donkey Kong, but coming out in 1984 and with fairly basic graphics, is not an overly well known one. Konami probably wanted to release it sooner, but maybe it was delayed for whatever reason. You play from top to bottom, jumping over gaps and either sliding down pillars or going down some of the sprung platforms. I've only seen the first 2 screens, so we'll see what the others are like. A quick go, and it certainly plays reasonably well, with a good level of difficulty. This will probably be another one with fairly short game time, but I don't know how the difficulty ramps up. The game never got a home release, which is probably another indicator it didn't catch many people's attention at the time. It's been a while since we've had a game like this, so I'm hoping it's a decent one. There only appears to be one ROM, which is Pandoras.zip, and we'll be using the default settings as usual. Before we finish, we need our next genre, and I've got another 12 lined up on the wheel. Single screen platformer have been popular, and we've got a few new genres. Puzzle remains the most popular, with 3 slots. So let's set things going and see what we get. Okay, slowing down. Could be maze. Very good. Yeah, you'll all know that I like a puzzle game, and it was the most popular. They did have 3 out of the 12 slots. So yeah, pretty good. So definitely send me your puzzle games to go onto the wheel next time. So yeah, I hope you all enjoy playing some Pandora's Palace. I'll be back in a couple of weeks with the scores. See you then.